Hello, interns. Before the dawn of the internet, we've had phones, so I thought, why not put together an old phone from the olden days and connect it to the internet? Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be interesting? So that's what we're doing today. And we're going to go to a new set called the Workbench. Let's go there now. Ooh. Ta-da! Look, new workbench. Only hands, no face. So nice. So full of spy. This is a Linux computer over here, and got voltmeters and soldering station over there. Very nifty, very cool. Now, on to what we're doing today. A phone. This is an old rotary phone, I think from like the 70s. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nifty. It's dirty. It needs some TLC, and so we're probably gonna fix that up. So the problem, right? This is completely analog. This is using a pulse width modulation to kind of sends pulses down the line to then tell the system on how to route it, what it's trying to do, yada yada yada. Compared to an actual like VoIP system, which is an internet phone, you plug it straight into the internet. This is completely digital and uses binary to address things and talk to servers and yada yada yada. So somehow we have to get this analog signal translated to digital to connect to the internet. This should be the solution. We will see. A lot of healthcare places and anyone who really deals with government or insurance has to still have a fax system. So this is the kind of workaround that you have to do if you want to continue to have a physical fax machine once you switch to a internet provider or internet-based phone system. This is an ATA adapter. Super simple concept. Let's see. What does that say? Internet goes in, phone come out. This does all the translating for us. So in theory, that should work. Now, why? I hear you ask, why would you possibly want to do this? One, it's cool. And two, I want an actual phone over in the workbench side. So if something rings, I can still pick it up and leave my computer. Because right now, I don't really have a physical phone in this office. I just pick it up on the computer when it rings, but if I'm not sitting at the computer, it'd be a lot easier if I had a physical phone over at the workbench. So really, this is going to live over there once we get it all set up. Should be fun. Let's find out. Okay, so I think the first thing we should do here is to actually clean this sucker up, make sure it's working. It's gross, right? It's gross right here, and then also this is kind of having some issues. This is supposed to be like cable tension, so I'm gonna try to glue things back together and get all the gunk and whatnot out of here, and then we'll get it hooked up and see if it just works in the box. Wouldn't that be swell? I'm so excited for that to be the actual case. Gross. I don't like it. I don't like it, Sam. I am. Okay, there you go. Not perfect. So, turns out the my stash of super glue is all dried out. So that's perfect. We'll fix that later. I had a thought that some of you watching probably don't know what this is. This is a rotary phone, and also how to use this. You would have this hung up, butter. You would pick it up, it would have a dial tone, and then you dial the number by selecting the number and pulling it all the way down to this little bar here. Like if you're just trying to dial a number, 5, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. It took a while. and you had to really want to dial that number. Or if you're just impatient, you could dial 0, and that would call an operator, and you would tell them who you're trying to talk to, and then they would route you. You know, that's generally how it would work. And then even newer phones had one of these, was also a redial. So you can, sometimes it was 1, you'd be like, bloop, and it would redial the last number you called. Nice and simple, very basic. And once you're done with the phone call, you just hang it up. So this is very satisfying. Like, it makes me feel a little bit like James Bond, where just swoop, 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 swoop. So good. So nice. Oh, also to control the loudness of the ringer, there's this little loud. I don't know if you can see that. This is loud right there in the plastic. And you would adjust this to be how loud you want the actual ringer to be. Okay, so we got this can go into here. Hopefully stay there for at least the duration of the tests. But now we got it somewhat clean. Not perfect, just somewhat. So now let's get this adapter rocking and rolling. Also, hold up. Ready? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Peelies. Oh, so nice. Okay. I was testing. I was doing a few things here. Ignore this, and we're just gonna do this part. Fun fact. So this is an Ethernet cable. This end is RJ45. This is a phone cable, and this end is RJ11. Those are just both the standards. In the early days of internet-ness, they were trying to figure out how to actually get internet to all of the computers at a business, and they're like, well, what do we got already? And they already had all the phones running to all the desks. So they're like, well, let's just use that same standard. But then they found out they need more pins and more cables, so they had to get bigger. But that's also why you have things like dial-up modems, where they would convert things, or convert RJ11 to RJ45 and modems to go back and forth, so you could use the same wires that are already there, just transmitting at a slower rate. So that's why they look so similar, because the RJ45 is based on the RJ11, yada, yada, yada. I don't like this adapter just because it's so fiddly to cram the tiny hair-thin wires into the tiny space. We gotta improve this at some point. It's a standard now, and it takes forever to make these if you're not good at it. You know what I mean? All right, anyways, let's get this connected. So I got internet. So nice. Internet 1. And my face. And then, so for RJ11, for a single phone line, you actually only need 2 wires, a single twisted pair, to get a phone line to work. I don't have a normal RJ11 cable. You can absolutely use one for this, but for me today, I'm going to build my own. That's what we're going to do. We're going to connect the 2 twisted pairs together. That should give us a single RJ11 cable. This little kit also came with the tiny screwdriver, the tiniest of screwdrivers. These, you can take them out like that and like that. Now we just need to hook them up, so should be the same, same. And when you loosen these little screws, they open up the channels inside here, so you can then put your wire in and tighten it down. Woo! I usually don't like introducing weird complexity like this, but we make do with what we have. I had to go into the dark abyss of the lab called the attic to find these. So that's what we're going to do. Then it's going into phone 1. Boop, like that. So with any luck, this says we have internet now, so that's nice. I don't think we'll have dial tone yet. It's trying, I can see it, but I don't hear anything. It also could be broken. I can hear pulses going through the phone. So we definitely have connection, just no dial tone, which probably means this is wanting us to actually program it first to get a dial tone. So let's go back to the desk and figure that out. So what we need to do now is find the IP address. You can use tools like Advanced IP Scanner. Google it, find it online, it's free download. But I have Ubiquity, so I can just look up who it is, what it is, that sort of thing. And I know it's called Grandstream, so I just search for that, and boom, there we are. Fancy. This is our IP address. We'll go ahead and put that in. Yay. And then if you ever need to find, this is true for most things. If you ever need to find the password to something and you've just factory resetted it and it's straight from the factory, or you've hold down the little reset button for 10 seconds or however long and then it reboots. To find the default password, you can literally just Google, hey, model number, default password, and generally speaking, it'll pop right up. Oh, good. It's on the product label. So bad example. This is, I'm getting conflicting results. Let's ignore the AI review and go with what this actually says. Enter admin, password, default is admin. So let's just try admin. Nope. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna go check on the label. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. So yes, there is, AI was right, whatever. There is a password on the label. So we'll type that in now. Okay, there we go. So this is how you get into it. Strictly speaking, it's different from here for every ATA, for every VoIP provider. They're all different. So check with your VoIP provider to see what they are actually wanting. Generally speaking, it just wants a provisioning URL to tell the ATA device where to get its settings from, and then their system will take it from there. But like I said, different for everyone else. So look up your specific ATA device, look up or contact your VoIP provider and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. This is how we're trying to connect. For me, I'm gonna try to figure it out by myself without talking to them because it's more fun. I'm insane, I know. Don't worry, give me a second. Holy Toledo, guys, it's working. It's been a few hours, and I had to call support anyways because they had a magical password that I couldn't know that they had to type in. So we got it to work, and it's nice. It has a little blue light here indicating that the line 1's working, and let's see if I can get it to. This still has a short in it, so I'm kind of like wiggling it, but we do get dial tone if I wiggle it just right. There it goes. Yeah, dial tone. Okay, cool. So not ideal. Still gotta fix that, but the concept is working. I'm so excited. Okay, so now let's see if I call your favorite IT guy hotline. Let's see if this rings. Oh, come on, work for me. I can see it ringing. So there you have it. Kind of a fun concept, but it works. It's really neat. I might need to get more power into this thing to actually, like there's a power amplifier that goes through here to actually get it to ring, because these being a mechanical hammer requires a lot of power. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what else you want to see. Have fun, interns. Bye-bye.